First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of great millstone that taught me his truth. So I wanted to bring this out because this has been circulating all over the internet, and it's going into how these people are saying that there is a UFO crash, and that how it says right here, Vegas police respond to report of 10-foot creature in yard after green flash, right? And they they talked to the person, right, the family that saw the UFO crash, and they said that it was a 10-foot creature that looked just like this, right? And off the bat, as soon as you hear UFO crash, you already know it's fake because the UFOs, the UAPs, how they call them, are actually the angels, right? The chariots of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, and they don't crash, right? They don't crash because hey, they're on another level, right? The fourth dimension. They're spiritual beings. So why would it's just not possible, okay? So instantly you already know they're trying to push some type of agenda here, right? Some type of narrative. And one thing we have to keep in mind is that they do have the technology to fake these things, right? To fake a UFO sighting. Because if you actually look into Project Bluebeam, that goes entirely into that how they're gonna fake the second coming of the Messiah, right? Fake the second coming, um, and if you actually look into it, it goes into how it's not just gonna be the Messiah, but all over the world, wherever you're at, it's gonna be the significant God they worship. So if you're over there in the Middle East, it might be a picture of Muhammad, or you know what I mean? They're gonna come with that second coming, but they actually have the technology to do that, right? I was looking into a video how um, they were showing off the technology in front of a crowd, and it looks like if there was a whale right flying through the space right in front of you, and it looks super realistic, right? And that's just the technology they showed people up front. So imagine um, what they actually have developed for themselves, because the government is like 10, 20 years, if I'm correct, ahead of what they put out, something like that. But the main point is that hey, this is not true, right? They're definitely putting a narrative. Who knows what the narrative is, but the point is this is not true, right? Let's go into some scriptures. This is Second Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11, and it says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices," right? And one of his main devices is the media, right? That's how he controls the narrative, controls what people are thinking, because the majority of people, as they're referred to by the elites, goyim, are just sheep to them, right? They just do whatever they're told, right? They believe whatever they see because they don't have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures, right? The true knowledge, right? That's why it says that if it were possible, they would deceive the very elect. But the elect, hey, we see right through this bullshit of what's going on, right? There's people all over the world that probably think, oh, the aliens look like this, right? This story tale, this folklore, right? Because this is just a whole lot of nonsense, something they created, because the government, the elites, they actually know that the so-called UFOs, the UAPs, are the chariots of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, the angels, right? So who knows if this is their way of trying to, what's the word? This is their way of coming against that, right? They might come through with the alien invasion and act like they defeated the aliens, right? The UFOs. Who knows? But I just wanted to bring this out because this is being pushed mainstream. So they're obviously coming with something, okay? And let's get this in Ecclesiasticus chapter 5 and verse 15. It says, "Be not ignorant of anything, and a great matter is small," right? Because hey, when we see this, when we see these types of things, this is like we can instantly see through the bullshit, but there might be people that might not have this information, right? They might have not have the knowledge. So it's always edifying to go into it and bring out just some key points about how the government operates, right? Because this is not possible, right? The UFO UAP crash, hey, those are the angels, right? They don't crash. All these lies about Area 51 and the things they've been telling you, it's just a lie, how I just said, right? It's not true. Like, before this one happened right here, you had this guy over here. It says, UFO whistleblower speaks, and he was talking about the UFOs and all this. And here it says, Fox News, Pentagon denies secret UFO retrieval program after whistleblower bombshell. And the thing about this guy was a plant, right? He was set up. So just in a couple days, two UFO stories, hey, they're up to something. But we ultimately know that in their agenda is to, um, what I've heard and what brothers have heard and people that know what's going on is that they're gonna come with a fake coming of the Messiah of Yahushai, but they're gonna obviously put that image of Jesus Christ, right? They might put an image of Allah or not Allah, what's his name? The God the Muslims believe in, Muhammad, right? And just act like he came back, right? Just completely deceive the people, right? Because hey, if you do that, these people don't know any better, right? Oh my God! But let's get this in Ecclesiasticus. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 3 and verse 24, and it says, "For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion hath overthrown their judgment." Right? Because when people see this, when the majority of people, hey, if you don't know the truth, this is gonna throw you for a loop, right? Your own opinion, right? Your evil suspicion is gonna throw you for a loop, right? They don't have the knowledge, they don't have the wisdom to see between the lines, read between the lines, because there's no such thing as little green men with big eyeballs, right? That's if you actually look into it, it's just something that was made up, right? There's nothing to back that. It's all just made up. It's a big psychological operation. Okay? But one thing too, I was hearing a brother talk about this topic is that the government does um what's it called? The government does um create new beings, right? They have the technology to fuse like a bird or a monkey with a bird and that type of shit, right? DNA mutation. They actually are able to do that and able to come up with new types of beings, pretty much, right? With monsters, like monsters. What's the name? Frankenstein. Yeah, pretty much that. They can actually do that because they have the technology to do it. So don't be surprised if you see some crazy shit, right? Because we're entering into some times where anything can happen, right? You can't downplay Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai because in Daniel the 12th chapter, first verse, he said it's going to be a time like never foreseen. And that also made me think about how in the times of Egypt, when Egypt was getting plagued, um, the Egyptians, it talks about how they were getting plagued with strange apparitions, right? Which goes into those demons, those spirits, right? Because that's another thing too, right? Just like in Egypt, demons and spirits are gonna come back again, right? Actual demons and spirits, being able to see them, are gonna come up back again, because in if I remember correctly, in Egypt, one thing that happened is that I can't remember exactly, but they were pretty much some of the Egyptians would die of fear, not even because they're hungry or getting attacked, but just of straight fear because they had a spirit on them that was just it would completely take over them. And going into the strange apparitions, right? A lot of people, right, like spirits and demons, those things are actually real, right? They can actually manifest themselves in this realm, right? Because that happened in Egypt. Okay, so I'm all over the place, but that made me think about that topic, right? Who knows um, what they're doing here, right? This could actually be a demon that came down, right? This could be just a psychological operation, right? They're just making up the video, making it all up. But one thing we do know is that it's not no UFO crash, right? It's not a UFO crash. But let me get this in Psalms chapter 37 and verse 12, and it says, "The wicked plotteth against the just, and the gnasheth upon him with his teeth. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming." Right? The wicked, the elite, the people at the top, they're trying to pretty much Salakia. the wicked, the people at the top, are pretty much trying to destroy the masses, right? They're trying to just completely get them confused and come through with the solution, come through with that chaos to bring in that order, right? If we read verse 14, it says, "The wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and needy and to slay such as be of upright conversation." Okay, so hey, that's the point on that. I just wanted to just bring this out quickly, and I was all over the place, but pretty much going into how this right here is not, it's not true, right? It's not true, and we know that, right? Through the Spirit, we know that, hey, Satan, right? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the elites at the top, they're very crafty, right? They're very crafty on what they do, but just be watchful, right? Don't believe everything you see on the news. But with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the outer bishops and apostles of great millstone that taught me his truth. Shalom, see you like Shalom.